Nothing makes me more mad than having to expend energy and emotion and pain on an argument about something that there didn't need to be an argument. What do I mean by that? Let me take you back to my marriage days. Did you ever have your wife just suddenly not be okay? Just irritated, angry, passive-aggressive, underhanded comments, slants. You know exactly what I'm talking about if you've been married. You spend a day, maybe 2 days, sometimes trying to figure out what the problem is. There's nothing specific that anybody is talking about. Nobody knows what the problem is, just that there's a problem. You point out everything. You try to pull everything, but it's not helping. Sometimes 3 days would go by and we'd finally get around to working through maybe what was wrong, or maybe there was nothing really wrong and somebody just needed to have a little drama and just feel good about mixing things up. That's what I feel like is going on right now. I just saw a video where John Bolton, a guy who we know for a fact, 100% for a fact, has a bug in his ass for Trump. Call it Trump derangement syndrome. Call it he thinks he's smarter than Trump. Call it he doesn't have as much power as Trump. Nobody will know exactly what it is. But John Bolton, rather than celebrate the fact that the war might be winding down or there's a ceasefire, there might not be any more people running in front of bullets or drone bombs. And he decides to just twist it into something else.
There may be lots of reasons why Putin felt that it was advantageous at this point to give Donald Trump something he can declare victory over, which is something called a ceasefire.
Just, what did he call it? He called it a redirection of Russia's military. You know, here's what I got to just at least hand to Trump and a lot of the Republicans, which is pretty much I don't think I will ever be voting Democrat again in my life. The only correlation that I have put on how I can identify a Democrat, or more importantly, how to spot somebody who would tend to have a democratic value based upon their democratic ways of communication, which I refer to as specifically indirect communication. What do I mean by indirect communication? Well, they're fighting for something that they're not saying. They want something that they don't want to tell you. They need something that they can't describe. So instead of just getting to the details or the facts or exactly what is going on, they just continuously beat around the bush and slander and ridicule and criticize and poke and prod and do all of this crap that just does nothing but waste energy, emotion, and time. If you want a globalist world where we have no more freedoms, where America is no different than the UK, where the UK is no different than France, and that there are no rules or ideologies that resemble the people who've been here for the longest, if that's what you want, then let's just start talking about what that looks like. If you want to just have access to billions, if not, I am so fucking sick and fucking tired of arguing about shit that nobody even knows what you stand for. Nobody knows what you stand for. Nothing. I can at least say what I stand for. I want laws. I want to stop carrying a sidearm every time I go to the grocery store, which I did for 48 and a half years of my life. I want closed borders, where only the people come here who get in line, who go through the procedures and the processes to come into the country legally. I want to know that my kids are safe in school, that they're not going to be sexually harassed or abused or manipulated or told that their parents are bad. Is that too much to ask? Is it too much to ask? My grandparents, my great-grandparents came to this country. No, it wasn't their country, but you know what? I was born here. And I've lived here my whole life. I've put my blood, sweat, and tears into these waters, into this state, or at least come on and talk about it. But no, YouTube won't let my voice be spread. I'm not allowed to get my videos in the algorithm to help progress my business or help progress my projects. Why? Because I'm white? Because I'm a male? Because I'm a confident white male? Is that it? If that's it, just say that. Just make the rules. Tell me what the rules are. There's no fucking way I would ever want to win at anything if I was cheating. Too bad somebody taught me that moral. Too bad somebody gave me that value. Because you know what? Once you have that value, it's really hard to get rid of it. You want to play fair. You want to be fair. You want to act fair. You want to treat everybody equally. And most importantly, you want to treat everybody the way you want to be treated. Not because the Bible says it, not because a religion says it, but because it's fair. You know, when you used to get the Graham bags back in high school, one person got to split it and the other person got to pick it. It was fair. When somebody else cheats, somebody else loses. And loses unfairly. Now we've got men competing against women, breaking records, ruining women's sports, and just doing whatever we can possibly do or find or change or manipulate or twist about society that makes everybody fucking wrong. Well, I'm sick of being wrong, and I'm sick of all the rhetoric. So why don't we just do this? If you can't communicate clearly, if you can't state exactly what it is you want without your primary action being to slander, criticize, defame, or